welcome. Tuesday tea at 2. We are episode 15, 14, 15. Today has been quite the day, and I am a couple minutes late because there's been a whole bunch of movement in my space today with some technicians and such, working some technical difficulties out, and they literally just left right on time. So I'm a little discombobulated, but I'm here. I made it. And we've got no retrogrades, so yay. Still some retrograde energy with Mercury and Venus, but we are cleared out right now until May 3rd, May 4th, technically, when Pluto will go retrograde in Aquarius. So we've got some free skies in the meantime and in between time to accelerate, to expand our manifestations and everything that we are trying to call forth. So definitely put a little bit more into everything that you are trying to bring into form and experience between now and May 4th. And it should move things along a little faster. So we're tapping into Rose. I did mention that for the next 7 weeks. Now this is week 2 of the 7. I'm going to be highlighting all of the individual flowers and herbs that are in Bloom Brew. So for those who don't know about Bloom Brew, now you know, you need to get on because it is quite expanding. So very much in line with this energy and in regards to no retrogrades right now. So I'm going to be making some special brews during this time. And I right now have a very special brew that was brewed and bottled post Venus going direct and our pink Libra full moon. So very, very powerful energy, especially with this Libra moon being ruled by Venus. So I've got 16 bottles left for that particular brew. So if you're interested, definitely touch base because when they're gone, they're gone. But then there'll be a new batch. There'll be a new batch tapping into this no retrograde sky. So tap in. Again, we are on the second herb flower in this case that are in Bloom Brew. So we're tapping into rose. So I've got rose petals, rose buds as well, rose petals, rose buds, and rose hip. So it's really about the energy of the particular, the frequency of the particular flower. So it's a combination of rose buds, rose petals, and rose hips that I include in Bloom Brew. So that is our alignment for this week. And rose taps into being the highest vibrational flower on the planet. So when they say stop and smell the roses, that is totally a real thing because it can literally augment your energy. If you're feeling a little bit low, a little bit stressed, a little bit having, in terms of anxiety or stress or whatever it is, literally just smelling roses, having roses in your home literally uplifts the energy and your vibration. So stop and smell the roses, okay? It's a real thing. It's an absolute real thing. And when we tap into high vibration, you can also use the dried rose petals for your baths. You can drink it, again, obviously, in our tea, in Bloom Brew, to, from the inside out, bring that upward energy and that high vibes energy. You can sprinkle some of the dried rose petals under your pillow, under your bed, just around your home to, again, increase the frequency and the vibration in your sacred space. When we're tapping into Venus and tapping into this full moon, pink moon, we're tapping into self-love, about our home and sanctuary, about our finances and relationships. All of that can very much benefit from the frequency and alignment of rose, internally and externally. It's all a reflection. It's all a mirror, right? Tapping in, giving thanks to everyone tapping in on the YouTube. I see you. Hello, Payam. Hi, CM. Hi, The Rock. Hello, James. I see your Canada flag. Whoop, whoop. I'm from Canada too. Word up. I'm in New York now, Brooklyn now, but born and raised Canada, baby. I'm going to give Canada love always. Hello, Evie, and Richard. Hello, hello. Welcome to Tuesday Tea at 2, episode 15, I think maybe 14. I didn't get to check that, but I forgot now because, again, this morning has been discombobulated. But season 3, and keeping it going. So tapping into rose buds, rose petals, rose hips, which is in Bloom Brew, and then aligning with rose quartz. Very much the quintessential crystal for heart healing, tapping into the heart chakra, making sure that that central chakra is balanced, because when our heart chakra is balanced, the three above and the three so below come into alignment that much easier. And it's all about our emotions. Again, tapping into this energy of the home and the hearth and sanctuary, Venus ruled alignments, finances, and our relationships and all of that good stuff. So make sure your heart is cleansed and healed and balanced. Emotional intelligence is the name of the game these days, because there's so much going on a political realm, society-wise, finances and trade wars and genocide, all of these things, right? And I have to be careful with these words because they, shadow ban and all that stuff. But it is what it is. We can all see what it is. Those of us that are seeing beyond these two eyes can see what it is. So when we are paying attention and acknowledging these things, it is very, very heavy on the heart. So it is important to maintain that balance. It's important to, be in this energy of, like I said, emotional intelligence and being able to feel it, to heal it, face it, to replace it, release to increase, all of that stuff, the urge to purge, all of those catchphrases that I preach and teach, but practice ultimately. And I think is just so important, especially when we are aligned with heart-centered leadership. We're going to feel it, and it's important for us to, especially as healers, to remember that healers need healing too. And it's that much more important for us to go through our emotions and make sure that we are clearing out what is potentially going to be preventing us from manifesting what we want and preventing us from showing up for society, for humanity, for ourselves, for our communities. So that's the work. So rose quartz is going to help you do that. Keep that heart nice and healthy and cleansed and happy and whole. And then the holistic nature of everything else just comes together that much easier. So left side over the heart, if you're sleeping specifically with it, make sure that you put that on there. It's awesome for self-love, great for the skin. So rose in general and rose quartz, awesome for the skin. So there's a lot of very clear alignments between the actual rose flower and rose quartz. So use them in connection, internally, externally. So when you're drinking your rose tea or your bloom brew, then you're also working with your rose quartz on the external, so that you're making sure that this connection, this healing, this alignment, this high vibes is going through for you internally and externally. So that's the energy for this week, highlighting rose. And I give thanks to you all, as always, and I give thanks to Babo Zain, the Orisha of everything that is green and grows. Ashe. As I sip some pure rose petal tea. And we're going to tap right in to the cards, because I again do like to try to, wrap things up in less than half an hour. And 2:22 is when we do our declarations and all of that stuff. So pretty much right after that, I will go into choosing our time. When we know what time it is, we're going to see what the angel number alignment is. And then I'm going to wrap it up and get back to all of the things in the home. Again, this energy is all about home and hearth and our sanctuary. So I'm, working through some kinks to make sure that home is comfortable and good and all of that good stuff. So get back to it. I do like to read comments. So I see you. Payam, I am doing my Tuesday tea at 2. Welcome if it is your first time. Every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I touch base on YouTube and on Instagram. This is my third year doing this so far. And we talk about universal laws. We pick a card from this very, very awesome Spiritual Awakenings deck that is by Reverend Dr. Aaron Fall Haskell. And it is incredible, taps into 52 universal laws. And we just pick a card, either one flies out or I let you guys choose, stop top, stop bottom, while I'm shuffling, and then we tap into what the download is, what comes through from spirit in regards to what that particular card is sharing in terms of the universal law. And then I tap into nature nurtures with the herbs or the flowers in this case, and the crystal, how they align and how they can kind of help us manifest and help everything rise into place, as I like to say. And instead of we say everything's falling into place, I'm like, nothing is falling. It's only up from here. It's rising into place. So it's so important when we think about our words and how they have power and cymatics and like, we can literally abracadabra, we're speaking and we're writing and we're spelling literally, and we're creating spells over our lives, that it's so important for us to mind our words and switch things up if something is negative. Like, for example, we say, how bad do you want it? And if we know that life happens, and of course there's going to be good, bad, and ugly, but we're choosing how we're going to say something, I'm not going to choose to say, I want it that bad, or how bad do I want it? Instead, I say, how good do I want it? How good do you want it? So these things are important to kind of switch up and change up as we are spelling and creating spells over our lives with our word. The creation of life, the creation of the planet, of humanity was literally created by the word, right? If we believe and we tap into the origins of creation, the creator brought us here through the word. And if we are manifestations of the creator, if we are co-creating and co-curating this experience, then we have to be very, very mindful in regards to how powerful our word is. So be very, very mindful and soulful in terms of the words that you use and choose. So that's what we're doing here. That's what Tuesday Tea at 2 is all about. And Super King, hi, how are ya? I'm good, best of creation. Don't you worry, I've been here 18 years. I'm good. I've been good. But there's always options. Home is home at the end of the day. So let's see where life brings me. Let's see what happens. I submit and surrender to self and source. So wherever I'm meant to be, it will be done. It will be done. What's for me cannot miss me. So if anybody is here, I do see y'all here, you can give me a stop top or a stop bottom as I'm shuffling. If there's sometimes y'all are shy and you don't want to, but if a single card comes out, that's Spirit choosing for us, and that's the one we're gonna go for. So Spirit chose for us. This is the one we're gonna go for. We've got the law of forgiveness. Release all judgments and set yourself free. You know the challenge that's happening online right now, we listen and we don't judge. That's what comes to mind right now. And when we think about that, it's so important in regards to communicating with the people that we want to preserve relationships and dynamics with, so that we feel not only can we express ourselves to them authentically, but that we are making ourselves open for them to feel like they can express themselves to us openly and authentically. So when someone feels an energy of judging or being judged, it closes the communication. It hinders people. It prevents open dialogue. So when you feel that sense of, if I tell them this truth, this is what they might say, this is what they might do, it's going to make you hesitate explaining and sharing certain things, right? And that's where you also have to think about and assess that particular dynamic, because we're in an energy right now where it is so important for us to tribe up. I refer to us in terms of our people as true tribe, in regards to those that you don't have to hesitate to share something with, that you don't feel like you're going to be judged, that you can just speak openly and honestly with. There are very few people that we can probably acknowledge that we genuinely feel that way about. The way to expand that true tribe, if let's say you only have that best friend that you can do that with, or you have your mom perhaps that you can do that with, or whatever it is, more often than not, it's a very small circle, if there's anyone at all that you genuinely say you never feel judged by, right? Because many of us more often than not do feel judged by the people, especially certain things that we're not sure about, that we're like, oh, I think I'm going to keep that to myself. It's usually a very small unit. But the way to expand that is to be that person. Be that person for yourself first and foremost. Do not judge yourself, because if you're judging yourself, it is automatically that you're putting the energy out for you to be judged if you say it out loud to somebody else. So the first thing to do is to stop judging yourself. Remove guilt and shame from whatever it is that you want to share, ultimately, that you're worried about being judged about for. Remove that for yourself. And then it's always important to think about that energy of pay it forward. But sometimes paying it forward is an energy of you received something and then now you're giving it to someone else, right? Initiate in the sense of being the catalyst to the pay it forward. Be the one to give first, to then volley this energy, this alignment so that that person that receives it from you with no other prompt other than you just choosing to give it, in this regard, forgiveness, in this regard, judgment free, right? And then that hopefully will inspire them to pay that forward. So when you want something, when you want to experience something, be it for yourself and be it for someone else. That could be intangible or tangible. So in this sense, if you don't want to feel judged when you want to share something intimate with someone, or that you feeling a little bit worried about, or whatever the case is, first be that for somebody else. That's going to expand your true tribe. It's an energy that you're putting out. It's a frequency that you're putting out. It's a safety and a security that you're providing for someone else. Spirit sees all. And even if you don't get it back from that particular person that you're giving it to, you will always get it back. This is the energy of reaping what you sow. So anything that you want to receive tangibly or intangibly, give it first. Initiate it. Obviously be discerning in regards to who it is that you're choosing to do that for and be that for. But all of that is part of figuring out who your true tribe is. Even if you potentially, quote unquote, regret sharing or initiating or whatever, it's all part of the learning process. It's all part of the clarity and the catharsis, and all part of you being able to distinguish and discern a lot better for the next time, for the next relationship, for the next dynamic. So you really can't lose, right? So this energy of the law of forgiveness, to release judgment and set yourself free. There's a different school of thought in regards to this notion of forgiveness, right? Some people say forgiveness is about you. This whole notion of setting yourself free, releasing the judgment. They did what they did. People are people. We've got to remember that. Everybody's dealing with their stuff, right? But sometimes it is hard to forgive, especially if somebody didn't apologize, didn't atone, is still doing what they've done, or is doing it to someone else, got away with it. There's a lot that goes around with it. But this is where we have to kind of think about our ego. Think about our heart. Think about all of the ways that these things coexist with each other and where we're choosing from. If we're choosing to forgive, make sure that we're genuinely prepared and good and comfortable with that energy of forgiveness, and not just doing it as this notion of, oh, well, it's going to set me free. Forgiving is for me. It's not for the other person. Because saying that you forgive and actually forgiving are two different things. And sometimes it creates more of a dissonance within your own soul to say that you forgive someone and then you're still carrying a grudge and you're still hurting and harboring this pain. So you have to also be honest with yourself. First and foremost, forgive yourself. Before you even think about what somebody else did or whatever the case is, this is where mirror work is so powerful and so important. When we tap into looking at ourselves in the mirror, the eyes being the windows to the soul, and questioning ourselves in regards to guilt, shame, judgment, whatever it is that we have done in the past or that we are still doing that we may be judging ourselves for, and that we truly, genuinely can choose to have more of a lasting impact in regards to this notion of forgiveness, to choose to forgive ourselves. It is a lot harder to forgive someone else if we are not able to forgive ourselves. So start with yourself. Again, that's in the giving and it's in the receiving, to start with ourselves. That's why when we think about love and wanting this awesome relationship and all of these things, we can want all of these things outside of us all we want, but we are everything. And if we don't give it to ourselves, if we don't practice with ourselves, if we're not providing for ourselves in that way, if we're not treating ourselves the way that we want someone else to treat us, how is it going to work? How is it going to happen, right? So that same notion of forgiveness, in this blanket statement of forgiveness, really look into your soul and question and wonder, what is it? Is there anything that you need to forgive yourself for? Start there. Start there. Release judgments of yourself. Start there. Because when you're able to do that for yourself, then you can realize, listen, I have my own stuff. I did that to that person. I said that to myself, right? It doesn't make me a bad person per se, or I was in a bad situation, or it was unprecedented circumstances and that's why I did that, or I was confused, or whatever the reasons or excuses, right? For being real, whatever they may be, the fact of the matter is that you're choosing different now. You're acknowledging different now. And in that role, in that moment of doing that and releasing that judgment, releasing that shame, releasing that guilt, and choosing to forgive yourself helps you see other people as the people that they are, as being perfect but flawed, because as are we. and it creates a notion of compassion and grace. And when you can bring in compassion and grace for yourself, you're able to funnel that out to other people. It allows for forgiveness to happen a lot easier. And even when you forgive, and even when you release judgments and all of those things, that doesn't mean that you have to forget. It doesn't mean that you have to welcome this person back into your space. It doesn't mean that you yourself have to feel like it's okay to allow those particular thoughts to come back in for yourself. You release it in the way that you need to in order for the healing to actually start to happen. It's 222. Balance and harmony surrounds me. Balance and harmony surrounds me. Balance and harmony surrounds me. Ashe. And then our declaration for our universal law of the law of forgiveness is, I release all judgments and set myself free. I release all judgments and set myself free. I release all judgments and set myself free. When you do your declarations, your affirmations, whatever it is, the power of 3 is so important. So this is why you'll notice that I'll always say the declarations 3 times. Power of 3 brings in completion, brings in an energy of creation and eternity, and expedites things a little bit faster. So cannot go wrong with the power of 3. Cannot go wrong. Let's see if there's any non-judgmental comments that I should read out loud. Okay, yeah, that's a troll, so we'll skip you. I never understand the trolls that come in to spaces that they like try to say are like negative or, you know, witchy or demonic or all the things they say, but then they're here and listen and like comment and stuff. Like that means you need it too, by the way, just so you know. So you're welcome. Hello, Skulls. Saying hi. Thank you. Thank you. I am a Taurus, Dark Bunny, a Taurus sun, Virgo moon, and Aquarius rising. How about you? Ha! She's a talker. You have no idea. But I'm here to talk, ultimately. I mean, this is what I'm here to do. If I didn't, what would we be doing? Should I just... Doom, 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 doom. I'm here to talk. I'm here to share. I'm here to put forth the downloads that come through to hopefully help everything rise into place, to help vibes high and help y'all stay high vibes, because there's a lot of ish going on right now. And sometimes it's hard, you know, sometimes it's hard to stay in the high vibes. So I'm here doing my part because it's working for me. So, you know, each one teach one. Hello, Vivi. You're new. Thank you for joining and thank you for subscribing. I appreciate you. And you're an Aries. Are you feeling all these Aries alignments? It's been powerful. That last eclipse was in Aries, huge portal, and just very much about drive and purpose and passion, and especially now that we have no retrogrades. Full speed ahead, full speed ahead. Get it done. Hello, Samir. Thank you for the love and the roses. I do love roses, and we are totally tapping into a rose this week. So you are right on, you are right on. So I'm gonna wrap it up. We're going to check the time. I'll see if somebody's gonna give me the time. If one of y'all, because I see the time, but I always like when someone gives me the time so that it doesn't look like kind of prepared and planned ahead to read the message, because it's always like divinely timed, right? That's the whole point of it, is divine timing. So for those who are here, if you can put in the chat what time it is. I see the time, but I want you to choose the time. Let me know what you see. And again, in the meantime, and through life in general, I would love to share, to focus on this energy of being non-judgmental, first and foremost, in regards to yourself. It just makes it so much easier to come into this attitude of gratitude, to come into forgiveness, to, you know, and again, it's hard to forgive sometimes if you're not communicating, if you're not sharing it, right? So it's important to express and put it out there. So thank you, Vivi. 125 for you, so 225 for us. So I'm gonna read, you know what? I'm gonna read both. I'm gonna read 125 first and then 225 after. That's awesome. Thank you, Vivi. Special this time, extra special this time. 125, message from our angel says, be serious. Invest in yourself first. Look at that, exactly what we're talking about. Your angels are reminding you that your interests and goals must be taken seriously. If you put them on the back burner, the universe will too. Reaffirm your commitment to yourself by repeating this mantra: I am worthy. And this is why self-forgiveness is so important, because if we tap into guilt and shame, it makes us feel unworthy, it makes us lower our value, and then it's very, very hard, if not impossible, for spirit to then say, oh, here, this bag I got for you, these blessings I got for you, here you go. You got to be in alignment. You have to be in the frequency, and you have to take yourself seriously. You have to take yourself in an energy of value proposition, of I know who I am, I know what I serve, how I serve self and source, right? How I'm aligned with self and source, so that you can come into that full expansion to bring in and to call forth, because it's all in us. It's all in us. And this is why we're so worthy. It's why we have to take ourselves seriously, because we literally have the power of co-creation and co-curation. So make sure you put yourself in that energy of knowing your worth, and that's going to bring in all of the value and all of the abundance that, again, is already in you, that just needs to percolate and come to the surface. So let's read 225 now. Flexible mind. Adaptability is key. Accepting the changes around you is what your angels are calling for you to do. Adaptability will create pathways in your life leading to your soul's purpose. Let something go today that you tried to resist or control. In meditation today, ask your angels to help you surrender to what comes next. This is that release to increase. This is just maneuver, go with the moments, because the moments are all we truly really have, and be open to the inspired action. We are going to receive, and then it's about the obedience, because sometimes we hear, but we don't listen, right? This is an energy of making sure that we are listening, that we are being obedient. And the more that we tap into forgiveness and tap into self-worth and tap into self-love, the more high vibes we are, tapping into rose, tapping into the heart healing that rose quartz does for us, puts us in this frequency that allows us to receive from the source, from the creator, from the most high. And then it's going to be a lot clearer in regards to our path forward to fulfill our soul's mission. So I hope that helps. Thank you, thank you. I see you all. I appreciate you. I do read the chats if they're high vibes, if they're trolly, if they're negative, if they're dark energy, if they're, mean and all that stuff, then no, I do not read those. So keep your comments constructive and high vibes, because that's what this space is all about. And if not, then you should find a new space. But you're always welcome. You're always welcome, because even if you come with negative energy, you're here for a reason. And hopefully the things that are discussed, the things that come through, the energy that surrounds you, wherever you are dealing with what you're dealing with, that will cause you to say the things that you say, will hopefully permeate and do what it do. So you're always welcome. You're always welcome. But no, I will not read negative, yucky comments. Not going to bring that out to everybody else. I transmute it. I'm not going to share it with the peeps. So that's it, though, for me for this week. I am grateful to you all, truly, regardless of what it is that you say, because every time there is that kind of energy that I have to kind of navigate and kind of read and still feel it, I feel it to heal it, I release to increase, it's all that, and it also always gives me the confirmation, that cosmic confirmation that I'm not easily shifted and swayed in terms of my vibration, even when somebody tries to take me out of it. I'm firm. I'm firm in this. I'm the programmer of this game. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm paying forward and why I'm here every Tuesday tea at 2. So I hope to see y'all next week. I hope to see you next week. I will be here again. I do as well rising signs, oracle observations every Sunday, live at 5 on YouTube specifically, not on Instagram. I did miss this past Sunday because I was very much in alignment with the full moon and Venus direct, and just kind of needed some me time. That's the thing with whenever you're doing this kind of work, you have to know when it's time to not have to always show up for everyone, because you need to replenish your cup to make sure that it overfloweth and let others drink of the overflow. So I'll see y'all hopefully Sunday live at 5 or Tuesday tea at 2 next time around. And I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It'll be posted on YouTube in 24 hours and right away on Instagram. So follow me there in case Sabrina Sahara shares on YouTube, or Back to Natural, BACKINI, natural on Instagram as well. So that's it. That's it. I'll see you, Squiggy. I will see you, Sam. I'll see you, Khan. I'll see you, Vivi, Samir, everybody that's here on YouTube. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you and the comments. I do. Madara, hi, hi, hi. Welcome. Angel, hi, hi, hi. Thank you for joining. Definitely take a listen back if you're just popping in. But I'm going to wrap it up, and I appreciate you. And in the meantime, and in between time, lest we forget, time to get back to natural. Peace. Bye.